Bro, we had a practice. Media was not supposed to come in that day in San Diego, La Jolla.
Mm-hmm.
That practice, Coach Daly, Michael, you captain, Magic, you the captain of another team.
Yeah.
You know? He threw the ball up, they went and sit down. I was there for an hour. We call our own fouls, respect.
Yeah.
That game there lasted well over an hour.
Yeah.
And to the point that the coaches got caught up in it, knowing what I know now, I can swallow my little pride and look back.
We go from here.
Bro, I personally, if I was that mega fan and had money to do whatever, I would have paid $5,000 to $10,000 for that seat.
Right.
The most competitive practices with respect for your talent that I ever seen.
Yeah.
I would like to clear the air here. Unless my agent was telling me a balls-faced lie, the reason I went number 13 is because of the report. I said, well, damn, I know I've been living in the backwoods of Louisiana, and I'm just coming out a little bit. I'm like, what report?
Yeah.
Marty Blake said you was lazy, didn't work hard.
Yeah.
Whew, that's what started me. Whether my agent planted that seed.
So 2 things was happening during that draft, right? We seeing you drop, and we hoping that you drop all the way down to 18, and you gonna be a Piston. I'm like, that's a Piston. He can be on our team, you know? And, man, if you would have made it all the way down there to Detroit, can you imagine you, Lambeer?
And you know what? We would have had to have armed security following our bus. Can you imagine? Whoa.
It'd have been crazy. It'd have been crazy.
When I first met him, I'm not lying to you. After the first set of practices, well, I get my food, and I'm walking, looking for a table. Everybody everywhere. Well, I look across, one long white guy sitting by himself. It was John Stockton. And I looked.
That's John. That's the John
look,
we know.
Here's what I did. I walked in and looked, the table was full. I looked, I walked over, and the first thing I said to him was, how you doing? I'm Karl, I'm John, right? That's the first time we met. I said, something wrong with you over here? He said, no, I just wanted to sit over here.
And in the backcourt, the rookie first-round draft pick, John Stockton from Gonzaga U.
When you talk about John Stockton, I remember this. I wasn't starting, I was on the second team. When I saw John Stockton with the starters, and I'm like, dang, I want that.
I never thought of you as no fashionable dude, no GQ dude, or nothing like that.
No, sir.
But when I
Jeans and Gators.
But when I saw you jump up in the air, wait and pose like that, I was like, wait a minute.
We had Hot Rod Huntley. Stockton to Malone.
Stockton to Malone.
We was playing at home. I remember the first time I did it.
Yeah.
Fast break by myself, and I'm saying, let me just try something different. I started doing it, and it's called the hammer dunk. Because Hot Rod Huntley would say,
Stockton to Malone, to the hoop, hammer dunk, the mailman. Stockton behind Malone. Stockton rolls to Karl. Nice pass, laid up the left hand, good. Stockton Malone for the field goal and a foul.
Pick and roll has been in basketball, for forever, right? Think about that. When you talk about pick and roll basketball, you can't say pick and roll without saying Stockton and Malone.
To Karl Malone, hammer dunk, Stockton to Malone.
That's it. So the mark that you've left on the game, brother.
Screen and roll, delivers the mailman, and the mailman delivers once again.
we all, as athletes out there, we're the closest thing to jet fuel in us when we, as they say in the country, when we ginning. That means stuff is working. Bro, it's getting down to late in the ball game. We got one of our favorite two guys in the whole world in the pick and roll.
Right.
And I tell you, hell, we loved having Shaq and Charles Barkley. I remember sitting on the bench watching Kevin McHale and Larry Bird. And Larry Bird did something. To me, I'm still marveled at this. And he got so many people. It was a timeout. And one of our teammates, Bart Kofold, had a camera.
Right.
He's taking pictures. So Larry Bird came over there and looked at our bench. And he said, three-pointer from right over here. So I'm sitting over there looking like that Babe Ruth, calling your shot already, right?
Yeah.
So Isiah, I'm sitting there looking. He looked down at the floor. Hell, everybody looked down at the floor. He like he threw something. And he hit a three.
Can you believe that?
And I remember Kevin kind of looking over at the bench like this gonna be a long night.
The mailman always delivers. The younger audience out there, tell us how you got the name the mailman.
A guy named Teddy Allen was our sports information director at Louisiana Tech. We had to go to Monroe, Louisiana.
Yeah.
And it was probably 28 miles. Well, we couldn't get there. So Teddy Allen said something to the effect, hey, if we was a bunch of mailmen, we would deliver. We was able to get down there. We won that to go to the NC2A. I had a pretty good game, we won it. We get back where the headlines was the mailman delivered.
Yeah.
He created that. Our first round, we was going to Memphis. We get off the bus. I never forget this. This kid was decked from top to bottom in my jersey with a mailman suit on. When he walked in, this kid came to me and took a picture and said the mailman. That's how it all started. When you look back at something that was so monumental, I think about the brothers that didn't make the team. And this myth that we had a secret meeting. Let me put it out there.
Yeah, why y'all didn't like me, man?
Whoa, bro,
wait a
that's
minute.
what we going here. No.
I'm hearing like, oh, didn't nobody like Isiah? I'm like, wait a minute. I say, these are the same guys that voted me as the president of the union every year.
Hey, bro.
Now I'm like, okay, go ahead.
Here's what I'm gonna say to you. On my ancestors and my mom, if it was a secret meeting, and I've heard all this out there.
Right.
If it was a secret meeting supposed to keep you off the team, it was. If it was one that was held, I wasn't in it.
Right.
And I know Stott wasn't in it. So I dispel that myth. Unless somebody can tell me something different.
Yeah.
Whoever it is, I would say to them as a man, they're lying. You will not have Karl Malone sitting here right now without John Stockton, that little white kid from Spokane.
Yeah.
He has just become the NBA all-time leader in steals. He already has the record in assists.
Welcoming John to the Hall of Fame is Isiah Thomas.
You know, I took John into the Hall of Fame. You know, he and I have known each other since we were like 13, 12 years old.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Oh.
His father was the one that always kind of
Mr. Jack.
kept us together, didn't let the media pull us apart or anything like that. And the way John played, right, he ran the point guard position like none other. And it was always perfect. There's no two players that epitomize hard work. I'm gonna say three players. You, Stockton, and your coach, Jerry Sloan. That's the Mount Rushmore of hard work. When you say the greatest of all time, first I started with Michael. I remember looking directly in his eyes, and it was like, whatever you do, whatever you say, we're gonna beat you.
He does whatever he has to do.
But then when I retired, and then I started, saying, okay, let me get something to back up my opinion. So then I started looking at like what Kareem had done, and I was like, no, wait a minute, time out. Like, ain't nobody ever did anything what Kareem did. All-time scoring leader, activist, all of it, right? And then LeBron comes along, and now he's broken Kareem's record.
It's Julius Dr. J. Irvin for this kid.
Yeah.
But are you kidding me? LeBron is my size or bigger. When you look at what LeBron have done and Kareem have done and how long that lasted,
unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. So you give that credit, but I will not sit here and tell you, start labeling them.
Stockton to Malone, to the hoop, hammered up, the mailman.
When you say respect, when I'm sitting in North Louisiana after I done got me a old barrel aged by Karl Malone, old cigar, because I love my cigars too, and I love my hunting, and I don't apologize for that. And I saw LeBron do it.
LeBron James bringing the heat.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you one I seen doing the ladies was Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum jam, little Karl Malone like.
Come on, man.
That's when you know.
I'm saying you left your mark on the game. You, boom.
To see guys doing it, bro, I feel it, love.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy to be here, but I'm more happy to reconnect and stay. Not
Yes.
reconnect,
Yes.
but stay.
Stolen by
This when I knew Michael Jordan was crazy. Michael's the most competitive person I've ever been around in my life. So me, him, Chuck Daly, and David Robinson go play golf one morning. We're playing Puerto Rico that afternoon. Chuck says, hey, guys, we played 18. Michael said, I'm gonna play another 18. Chuck said, we got a game tonight. He says, I'll be good. This is how crazy Michael is. We get to the game. Charles, you got this guy. Scotty, you got this guy. Michael, you got this guy. Michael said, no, I got the point guard. He says, what? He says, I got the point guard. He says, you don't want to guard the two guard? Michael's kind of leaning down. Michael looked and said, I said I got the point guard. He said some shit about me in the newspaper, and I'm going to get him. And we're looking around like, uh-oh, this little kid in trouble. He played 36 holes of golf, and he's guarding this dude like it's game 7. And he's talking, don't you ever say my damn name again. I'm looking at Karl Malone, I'm like, yo, man, there's something wrong with this dude.
I was just amazed his ability to play and then come back and practice and play with the same energy with no sleep. Okay? His true gift, Rex, as Rex knows, his true gift, which we don't want to say, but Rex can put it in context. He can explain it. I'm just going to say it and let Rex explain it.
His true gift
if
was,
the man
was hanging out.
If he would have slept, we don't know how good he really would have been. We didn't see the best of Michael Jordan because he didn't sleep for 14 years. Okay, literally, this isn't like a little sleep. He literally didn't sleep, and he didn't eat.
Yeah.
So you got a guy who didn't sleep. He didn't eat. He's playing cards and whatever he's doing at night. You know what I mean? Let's keep it PG. Hey, Rex, doing whatever happens. And the guy is playing as if like, and you're like, wait a minute. You just played 45 minutes the other night. And you're like, how?
Michael Jordan, he is a defectively competitive human being, Michael Jordan.
He was not just out to beat you. He was out to annihilate you, to take your heart right out of your chest.
Michael Jordan would intentionally antagonize opponents right before the big game.
Jordan would do things to demoralize you in such a way that you didn't even want to think about going up against him again.
He would really do things, and I can't say what they were, to infuriate them and get under their skin.
The things that this man used to do to people, to opponents, it's unreal, man.
Jordan did it because he wanted to make sure he got the best version of his opponent, so that when he beat them, singing them, Giving You the Best That I Got by Anita Baker, this is not me with any excuses, this is you at your very best, and I am better than you.
They talk about LeBron, about even Kobe, he's better than MJ. No, they were not. MJ was on another level, bro.
Now in his own town, Chicago, Michael Jordan here to defend the 1987 Slam Dunk Championship he won.
We didn't talk much, and even during the contest, you know, we showed each other respect, shook his hand after a great dunk, but we didn't talk. And even the wins and loss dunk contest,
They gave Jordan a 50. He defends his championship.
never talked about it, not once. Last year was the first time that Michael, I saw him and his wife at a hotel at the All-Star game, and I'm walking over to say hello to him and his wife, and as I get to the table, he said, yeah, Nick, yeah, you won the dunk contest.
Oh, he finally admitted.
And I said, well, how you doing, Mike? Yeah, you doing? And I said, well, you know what, let me get that check then that they gave you for you know, we can call it even. He ain't never paid me. But you know, Mike and I, man, we have so much respect for them. You know, the two North Carolina guys,
Right.
you know, that competed on the highest level.
The Chicago Bulls, the Portland Trailblazers, the two best teams in the NBA, go head-to-head.
All eyes will be focused on the matchup of Drexler and Jordan.
Clyde the Glide says we're the two best in the game.
Both had outstanding seasons that statistically mirrored each other.
Me being compared to him, I took offense to that.
The night before game one, he said, you know what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm going to give it to this dude.
And the matchup at the start, Michael Jordan facing Clyde Drexler. Jordan.
So he hit that first three, and then here come the second one. The third one.
Michael Michael Jordan with 4 3-pointers and a half has tied the NBA Finals record.
Michael didn't want anybody to have nothing over him.
Jordan for 3, yes! And Jordan again put downtown. Did you see that?
He was like, I'm killing this dude.
You've got a great opportunity to step in there and win a city that is crying for a winner. Perhaps you can turn that Bulls thing around. What do you think?
Hopefully, I can go in and contribute and maybe turn it around. I'm looking forward to that.
We wish you were 7-1, but he isn't.
Michael got to realize that he's not 7 foot, so he's not going to carry a team in the NBA.
1984-85 season will go down in history as the year Michael Jordan came to town.
He has touched the hearts of Chicagoland and the nation.
He does some things that I just never seen before.
Words can't describe him. He's poetry in motion.
If you guys remember in 1984 when they drafted Michael Jordan to the city of Chicago, I said then that we'll be champions by the time I leave. Well, we're a 5-time champion going for 6, and we need your support. Thank you very, very much.
Detroit had Jordan rules just for Michael.
We had to do everything from a physicality standpoint to stop him.
I don't know how he came out of it alive.
When he was in the air, we had no shot.
You have to stop him before he takes flight, because, he's not human.
Michael Jordan foul.
Here again, the implementation of the Jordan rule.
Chuck Daly said, this is a Jordan rule. Every time you go to the fucking basket, put him on the ground.
As soon as he steps in the paint, hit him.
When he comes to the basket, he ain't gonna dunk. We're gonna hit you, and you're gonna be on the ground.
Jordan is still down.
We tried to physically hurt Michael.
Jordan had no place to go. Robert.
How bad do you want it? Are you willing to be injured to score a basket?
And the Pistons want to make Jordan pay whenever he gets in the paint.
I can compare Michael Jordan to nobody because for him to survive that and still maintain that greatness, it's very unparalleled.
What was your call on that last play?
That was get the ball, Michael. Everybody get the fuck out of the way. Go to the basket.
Pippen finds Jordan. There it is. Rodman is on him, one-on-one. 5 seconds to go. Jordan off the glass. Yes! It's over. Chicago wins.
Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls, were the standard bearers, but not afraid to drop Michael on his backside.
Jordan turns and faces. Shot clock at 7, 6, and a... Whoa! Shaquille, that might really hit him hard. MJ is down.
Michael told me that he was driving to the basket and Shaq was under the basket, and he was hesitant to keep going because the guy was so big. And so he went up anyway, and Shaq knocked him down. Just blasted him, knocked him down.
Michael taking a beating here also. Shaquille is there and said welcome.
And it hurt my heart, but I had to flagrant foul him and lay him out. And when I went to shake his hand and pick him up, he said, don't ever help nobody up. And he bounced right back up. And I knew then why he was the best player in the game. Can LeBron surpass Michael in your eyes?
It might take a couple more championships to do that. LeBron is special. We should just say, hey, Michael is special. And I always say he's special because, and he's the best to me because he never lost in the NBA Finals. And he's averaged over 30-something points a game. I mean, the guy is just unbelievable. If you come at me and you ask me, that's who I'm gonna go with, is MJ.
He was the strongest, not basketball player, athlete I've ever seen.
Michael is not gonna talk about himself. He's not gonna say, hey, I'm the greatest player that's ever lived. That's not who he is. He's never been like that. But he let his game speak for itself. He bagged it up with how he practiced, how he approached the game, and then how he played the game, both physically and mentally.
I remember where I was because I saw it on the news and I happened to turn on Comcast Sportsnet to see it live.
Not the game. We're talking about practice, man.
Get him off. Get him off the dais.
Not a game.
He was just tired of answering the same old question, and that was his reaction, but that didn't define Allen Iverson.
Not the game that I go out there and die for and play every game like it's my last. I mean, how silly is that? And we're talking about practice.
Everybody talks about Allen Iverson practice rant. I'm pretty sure he wasn't practicing well when they were making it to the finals. But when you lose, that's the double standard.
That little guy came to work every damn day and played hard. And we'll go through, we're talking about practice. total lie in terms of how that was interpreted.
But when it came time to win a game, for a coach to know somebody's going to give you his very best every minute of every game, that's an unbelievable feeling to have.
A big house expected in the big house tonight. 76ers and the Chicago Bulls, a special night.
Everybody was waiting for that matchup the whole night.
Iverson has Jordan. The crowd is into it. Allen shakes free, gets two! Mike said no. Allen said yes. The bucket, the crowd loves it.
And everybody just freaked out. He crossed over Jordan. Oh my God!
It was against Black Jesus. I always told my friends growing up, if I ever got an opportunity to try my move on the best that ever played the game, that I would.
Maybe the team wasn't good at the time, but we had a star in which we could put the burden of the franchise on, because that move against the best player on the planet, Michael Jordan.
I had got guys way worse than that, but it was just the fact that it was him. You know what I mean? And the crazy part about it is he still almost blocked it.
I hated basketball. I thought it was soft. You know what I mean? I was always a football player.
Allen was probably one of the best football players that I ever seen play.
Iverson is just so quick that he will score.
The dream was to someday win the Heisman Trophy, win a national championship, and possibly get a chance to play in the NFL.
One day, my mom said, "You going to basketball practice?" And I was like, "I ain't playing basketball. You know, basketball is soft."
It was never about basketball.
I thank my mom, man. If she didn't tell me that I was going to basketball practice that day, I would never play.
He actually played in the Boo Williams AAU program. I told Boo, I said, "Boo, it's going to be a time where you're just going to have to, stop playing this basketball because you got to get ready for the NFL." And Boo looked me in the eye and he said, "Mo, let me tell you something. This kid has a future in basketball."
I'm the franchise player here. You know, I don't know any franchise players that come off the bench. I don't know any Olympian that come off the bench. I don't know any All-Star that come off the bench. I don't know any former MVP that come off the bench. I don't know any three-time scoring champion come off the bench. I mean, I don't know any first-team All-NBA come off the bench. Why Allen Iverson? Why should I come off the bench? Detroit was a bad situation for me, Steve. I was told something, and I was promised something that wasn't to be.
I knew Allen Iverson didn't come to Detroit to come off the bench. Same thing with me. I didn't expect when Allen Iverson came that they will be asking me to come off the bench. Because the way it was sold was like, hey, you two guys are going to be playing together and we'll figure out how it will work.
I had already knew that it was going to be a problem once I got there and I couldn't have my number. so I already knew, like, yo, this ain't right off top.
Let's get dirty. Let's get dirty. We knew what we were up against. We were up against the Lakers. We were up against Shaquille. We was up against Kobe, and the best team in the league.
That first game was certainly a defining moment for Iverson and the Sixers.
Iverson against Tyrone Lue. Baseline right, he backs up, he fires two ball. Got it again! He's way too good! He steps around Lue and drilled it!
He's just too good!
I played good defense. He went to shoot the basketball. I contested it, and then when I turned around and looked, I kind of stepped backwards and I fell down, and he stepped over me, and they made a big deal out of it. But, just having a chance and opportunity to guard one of the NBA's greats was a big thing for me.
Here's Allen Iverson, little 6-foot Allen Iverson, 5'10", bringing his team to LA, and they beat the Lakers in LA. In game one of the finals.
Sixers shock the world with a game one victory here over the world champion Los Angeles Lakers.
You're talking about a 6-foot, stretching it, 165-pound phenom, and you saw a warrior mentality, and I love warriors. And at the time, we were looking at Allen Iverson, Stephon Marbury, Marcus Camby. AI's workout was pretty intense. And I saw this kid have a dream and bring it to fruition.
With the first pick in the 1996 NBA Draft, the Philadelphia 76ers select Allen Iverson from Georgetown University.
Raw lightning. Wait till you see him play.
What a nifty play by Iverson now.
Iverson to the bucket. Now this is going to be something twisted.
Allen had a symbiotic relationship with the crowd in Philadelphia. To this day, he still has that love. When Iverson was rolling here at the center, what did he do? He went over and he put his hand to his ear, and he went over across from the Sixers bench to that crowd and wanted the feedback.
The little guy, the MVP, trots to the sideline, asking from the fans, let me hear ya.
That is one of my favorite moments because I know we're winning. I know the place is abuzz.
There are very few things where you can get 20,000 people in the palm of your hand. They were showing the love for what he was doing performance-wise, like unbelievable basketball feats, and they were pouring it back, and he loved that. That, I think, is one of the everlasting images for Iverson here in Philadelphia.
Honestly, my first impression of him was, man, this guy's small.
He didn't fit in the NBA. He's too small, he's too skinny. Hey, the boy was Rookie of the Year, he was MVP, he did everything.
He's a small guy that dominated a league dominated by bigger guys.
Too strong, no!
He didn't back down. I don't care if it was Shaquille O'Neal, Stephon Marbury, Ray Allen, Michael Jordan. He was ready to take a challenge. He was fearless.
I felt like, and I know that nobody can stop me one-on-one.
It's time to get down.
Iverson in a hurry. Douglas backpedaling. Forget it. A stunning NBA debut with 30 points. Allen Iverson starting to heat up here.
Now the world knows what we in Philadelphia have known, that Allen Iverson is one of the most exciting, most dynamic, most fearless players in the NBA.
When I went to Oregon State and I played for Ralph Miller, he changed me into a defensive player because he walked over to me and he said, I can make you the greatest defensive player ever because you got great hands and feet. If you listen to me, you'll be that guy. And once I played for him for 4 years, I went into the pros and then I just thought, why should I let somebody score 40 on me? And then I'll score 40 on them. What is the outcome? It's even. So why not me score 40 on them and I'll lock them up and they score 15, 16 and I win the game? You know what I'm saying? That's how I figured it. Yeah. I was like, I'm gonna D you up and then talk to you and then get you out the game.
Oh, he talked.
And then that's the way I was. I just put it that way. And then it started coming like this. He's a complete basketball player. He plays both ends of the floor. And that's just what I wanted to do. I just wanted to be that type of a basketball player. I used to come to the gym. I take off all my clothes, get in this jacuzzi, have the ball boy go get me a Big Mac, order of fries, 6-piece McNugget, and I would sit in the jacuzzi and eat it. Then get out of the jacuzzi, wipe my face and mouth off and stuff, leave all the stuff right there so the other people could pick it up. And then I would get stretched and then I'll go out and play basketball. I had to do it every time. And that was just the way it was, you know? And then I go out and have a great game. I used to always have that in my mind. If I don't eat McDonald's before my game, I'm not going to play well. And that was it. So I used to have to go get McDonald's. So they would always be there. They would like, Gary, you going to get sick. I'd be like, no, I'm not. I'm not gonna get sick. I'm gonna run it off anyway. I ain't nothing but like 20-something years old, so I'm gonna run it off. And that was just it.
They call him the glove.
93, 94 when we was playing Phoenix. Kevin Johnson was the guy, and I told you I was gonna lock him down. Yeah. So I locked him down in that thing, and then you remember my cousin Glenn. Yeah. Glenn came and called me, and he was like, glove. I was like, huh? Yeah. Who the heck is the glove? And then all of a sudden he called me back, and he was like, man, you holding Kevin Johnson like a baseball in the glove. I said, man, nobody gonna tell my boy this, man. You remember I told you?
No, you came on the bus and you was like, you said, and then I was like, man, you don't know what you done did.
And then we started pumping it up, man. And then I was like, man, the glove and the rain, man. I was like, boy, we about to get it. And then what we do? Got it.
Got it.
Head to Gary, lobs it ahead. The rain man will go to get it.
Payton leads the break, the lob. Kemp slaps it down. Oh, what a play.
I can do anything I want out here, boy. If your head lumpy, I tell you your head lumpy. I can get it heated up when you want me to.
Talk to me about the best trash talkers you ever encountered.
I say, now you go. Oh, Snoopy, woo! Yeah, there we go.
A lot of people look at your talking, Gary, they think like that was just it. He was just talking, but they didn't realize he was taking them mentally out of their game.
Right.
I was always in the back of his ear telling him, Michael Jordan about to get you. You better get ready. Michael Jordan over there, he about to, so I think The one thing that we did for each other, we always challenged each other early on. We took what we did. It wasn't, and some people look at it like we was talking crap, but I think it was more of us being positive and encourage each other because it was a test of what you could do with yourself because we knew we could do better.
That was a good thing about it. We always challenged each other. You used to get on me a lot. You'd be like, man, you better come on, man. Jordan gonna bust your head open.
Some people around here wanted to call me reindeer, and I was just like, no, there they go.
Reindeer.
And I was like, no, and Kevin Calabro, he called back and they was like, what do you think about the Rain Man? And at first I was like, no, I'm thinking about it. And it was like, not R-A-I-N, but R-E-I-G-N. And I was like, okay, yeah, well, I like it. So I think it was at that point, that's when I started to realize, okay, we're gonna have to build a foundation just for business around here.
The Rain Man with a power back right hand. Look out below! Oh, get up and lay it home with two hands, Rain Man.
There wasn't very many at the time that was worldwide known for their nicknames and stuff like that. So to have a nickname, a pair of shoes named after you, a foundation built after you, was pretty big back in the 90s, man, pretty important.
I knew if I throw that thing anywhere, you was gonna go get it.
I told you that.
Yeah, you said it. You said throw that thing up on the roof.
I said
and
throw
I'll go
it.
get it. And then all the antics you did afterwards, you point at and listed.
Kemp's got it right up into the alley. Power slam! Tomahawk Sam! Yeah, baby!
I used to love it because I used to go walk back. I'm like, that's my man. Go at them, go at their head.
You can intimidate a person by two ways, by talking to them or just going at them. The dunk is a powerful thing. It can change the game around. It can quiet the crowd, and also it can put a team on shock because there was so many times when we caught lobs and I got a big dunk where the team actually just stopped playing.
And looked at you.
They were looking at the dunk.
You remember when Gallon gave you high five? I said, for real? You gave him high five?
How you gonna give me five?
I said, boy, are you kidding me?
Gatling swats it away. Kemp powers in with a jam. Gatling comes up and says, wow. And they high-five each other.
And that was the worst day of my life when I came and all of a sudden they called me and said, we're gonna trade Shawn. I said, what?
Yeah.
You cannot trade my guy, man.
Oh, yeah.
That can't happen. And then all of a sudden, everything went blue, blue, blue. Then we became a mediocre basketball
The first
team.
trade, I ain't never told you this, the first trade that they called me that night when I was going to the Lakers.
Oh, Lord, if you'd have did that
I was going to the Lakers. And then they called back and then they was like, we don't want to face you 4 times in a year.
I bet. I didn't want to face you 4 times
We're going to
either.
give you a choice of 3 teams. They gave me a choice of Milwaukee, Cleveland, and I believe Detroit.
That was a bad thing because I knew that I was gonna have a situation where I probably won't play with you no more. When that day came, I was like, man, this is gonna be bad for us. We're not gonna be the same basketball team. And look, we didn't. You know, we kept trying to win basketball games, but we could never win without you. When George came in here, he brought that fire underneath us. You know what I'm saying? He made us accountable for stuff.
Absolutely.
You remember the time we threw the ball off the glass?
Oh, yeah.
And you tried to
smash it.
And it went back.
It dunked and then it hit the bottom of the net and popped out.
Play of the year had it gone in. Can you believe that, Ted? And the pass was perfect.
And I'll tell you, how about this? Do you think that George Karl did not like that play at the end of the second quarter?
I mean, for sure. There is no question who runs this show.
He subbed us and we looked over. I said, what the? And then I went on the bench. I said, and if we get in again, I'm going to do it again.
A few weeks later,
I said, dog, if you do it
but
again.
this time, man, I was about 10 yards further back than what I was the first time.
And got it,
you
though.
threw that thing up there, but I went on and got it.
Go get it, dude.
I went on and got it for you, though.
Look out, look
Payton
out.
sets up Kemp.
Holy cow.
Baseline. Shaq slam. Oh, my goodness, are they going crazy? That was serious. Oh.
Watching Shaq, you know, in college, and then hearing about him coming into the NBA, you know, it was really like for us the second coming of Wilt Chamberlain.
People would always say I'm the next Wilt Chamberlain. I think it was a great comparison because the day Philip Arthur Harrison taught me how to play basketball, he would always scream 3 names. He's like, oh, you're gonna be dominant like Wilt Chamberlain. Everybody's gonna fear you. It was my job to emulate it or surpass it. So when they said I was the next Wilt Chamberlain, I think it was a great comparison because he was so dominant that they had to change the rules, and that's how I wanted to be.
This was an NBC nationally televised game, a Phoenix Sun team that featured Charles Barkley in his prime. So there were a lot of eyeballs on Shaq's first national televised game.
I'm not gonna stick my hand up there and get no poster shot. No, I'm not crazy. I've been around too long to go up try to block his dunk.
Whenever you're playing against your idols, you see my idol Charles Barkley there. I had to send him a message. Charles was ferocious. Charles used to talk a lot of smack. Charles used to throw his elbows, and every time Charles got a chance to throw it down on the break, he threw it down really hard. So every time I dunked, I wanted to dunk very, very hard. So a lot of times when you dunk hard, you can injure or break the apparatus.
As Hill follows and almost does bring down the entire backboard. That's one we haven't seen.
When you look at it, it's like he broke the hydraulics. Broke in the rim, said, whoa. It's like it went down and came back up and went back down again. I was like, is he that strong?
Shaquille, what? I've never seen that. Hold on to the roof. The Shaq attack.
I meant to do that because Derrick Coleman is the only man that ever dunked on me in the game. So I was so mad every time I played Jersey, I wanted to let them know that, hey, never getting dunked on again. And I'm gonna brutalize whoever you put on me. So when the rim came down, that's exactly what I was trying to do.
Let's jump to the phones, and Eddie is called in. Eddie, what's going on tonight?
Shaq man brought it down again, huh?
Unlike Phoenix, the backboard came down in a fury. And the 24-second clock actually hit Shaq on the head on the way down. Shinsis barely got out of the way in time. And I remember Shaq saying after the game, this one was better than Phoenix. I snapped this one in half. This one took about 45 minutes. They were prepared, too, because it had already happened in Phoenix.
1989, 1990, I had a show in Indianapolis called The Reggie Miller Show.
Oh, you shouldn't have.
And I just so happened to be interviewing Larry Bird. I was talking about Magic and Michael and Isiah Thomas, all the guys that we were currently going against. He's like, I'm just telling you, there's a young kid. I've never seen anything like it before. Out of LSU, goes by the name of Shaquille O'Neal. And he's going to be the next big superstar.
I think the best player in the world right now is probably Shaquille O'Neal. Once he gets in the league and gets established, he's going to be the same type of player. He's right up there with the best of all of them right now. Thanks, Larry.
We're breaking into programming right now to bring you a live news conference at which Shaquille O'Neal is expected to announce that he has signed a 7-year, $120 million contract to join the LA Lakers.
I was excited.
At that moment, I thought for sure I was winning the championship that following year.
That whole summer, I was telling my boys, man, we getting Shaq. We're gonna win the championship.
Our ticket department went nuts, and everything sold out. Not only are we gonna win games, but now you've got charismatic personalities that people will pay to see.
Kobe hopefully would pan out for us, but Shaq really was the most important piece.
Now here he comes, the big fella, Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaq was going to turn the franchise around. Shaq was going to give us an opportunity to get back to winning championships.
I think it's a new start for you and an opportunity to travel the road to a championship ring.
That's what it's all about.
Larry Bird basically taught me how to trash talk. It was my second game of my career, and I'm scared to death already. And he walks out, and he just stands next to me, and he leans over and he looks at me. And I didn't pay him any attention. He said, "Do you honestly think you're gonna guard me?" Then he stands up and he looks over at our bench and he looks at Cotton. "You all think this rookie gonna guard me? Man, I'm gonna bust you up." Just right in my ear. And then finally he walks around, stands in front of me. He said, "I'm gonna tell you something right now. I'm gonna wear your ass out." Game starts and he's just wearing me out. And he came down, he said, "I bet you can't do this." And he raises up from Steph Curry range and he shoots an air ball. And I look at him, he like, "That don't matter. It's the fact that I can do it and stay in the game. I bet you can't."
Larry Bird, you don't realize how big Larry Bird is until you stand up close to him. He walked by us and he says, "Y'all those college guys?" And he looked at us and he said, get some fucking rest. It's gonna be a long week, and walked off. And we get back to the hotel, and Rodney Rogers said, hey, Larry, you ain't hit a jumper since 84. We ain't think nothing of it. The next day we came in, and I never seen this, and this one I was like, this is a different breed. Larry Bird got the ball on Rodney Rogers, and every time he was about to make a move, he told him what he was going to do. One dribble, pull up, going left, off glass. One dribble going right, spin, shot, bucket. He scored 9 times or 8 times in a row and said, young fella, look like 84, huh?
Last time he made it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in the Boston Garden. I'm in awe because this is the mystique of the Boston Garden. And I remember the first, we was at the jump circle, and I go shake Larry Bird's hand. He put both hands behind his back, you know, like, I'm like, you know what, maybe he's just getting into the game, you know. I'm trying to give the benefit down. The first play of the game, I'm guarding. He said, I don't know why they got you guarding me, Holmes. And he shoots a 3. And I wasn't mad he made the 3. I thought, this son of a bitch just called me Holmes. Oh, man, I was so mad. So I was coming down the left side, and I go up in a fast break, and he comes out, and I'm pumping it behind my head, and he jumped.
They find Wilkins, look out.
I said, I got him. Boom. He's sitting down on the ground. I'm pointing like this. He said, hey, Rook. I'm like, what? He said, I like you. You got balls. But I'm still getting 40 on your ass. We knew going to game 6, I said, man, we could advance and we can beat these guys. And we blew our opportunity. After the game, Barrett made a prediction. He said, Atlanta blew their opportunity. I'm guaranteeing a win in Boston.
Our shots are going to be dropping a little bit better, and we're going to be running a little bit faster. So I'd say Sunday's going to be a big win for the Celtics.
We get to Boston. Yeah, so whoever guarded me tonight going to have a long night. Unfortunately, Bird was saying the same thing in the other locker room to his teammates. He only had 12 points going in the fourth quarter. Kevin Willis, it was me and Larry. We would run down the court, and Kevin reached off me, put his hands, and Bird said, don't let this so-and-so score any more night. I'm like, what you doing? You don't wake up a sleeping giant. And his eyes got that big, and he got hot.
It's Bird's turn. Bird snaps free, comes up with the shot, and the Celtics lead it. It's Bird.
It was a shootout in the fourth quarter. It came down to the last shot.
That's it. Boston 118, Atlanta 116.
The fact that it is believable, the fact that, you know, I had the internet's kind of speculating all over the place on the, you know, was it real, was it CGI, all that. All I'm gonna say is no, it wasn't real, but I did still shoot 40% in that one. I did make 2 of them, so I can verify that. But nah, it wasn't all 5. I was just having fun with it, and the fact that it's believable is the ultimate compliment to me. So I'm gonna take that and run with it.
So you did make 2 of the 5.
I did make 2 of them, so, you know, my arm was a little sore the next day because I did.
Those are the only ones that count.
Exactly. I did have to shoot all 5 of them though. But yeah, I'm gonna lay off the 94-footers for a while. When I got to the draft,
with the 7th pick in the 2009 NBA draft, the Golden State Warriors select Stephen Curry from Davidson College, the 6'3" junior guard out of Davidson. Quite simply, is the best shooter in the draft.
I believe it was Doug Gottlieb. There's a tweet he made about where I ranked in all the point guards in the draft class and who had the most upside, and I was like way at the bottom of the list. When you look back, you know, obviously feeling counted out, feeling like, you know, nobody really understood who I was as a player, all the criticism and all that type of stuff throughout my journey. Like, you hear it all, you internalize it, you use it as motivation, inspiration.
Of course, Steph Curry with his dad, the emotions just pouring out. It might be his 4th, but it means so much. All the sacrifice, all the work. The 4th title in 8 years. The Dubs dynasty is still very much alive.
But, you know, I think a lot of people don't realize how good a shooter your father was. Your father was one of the best shooters to ever come through the NBA. I'm telling you. And he was nice, too. I mean, he had a nice style about him. He just throw it in your face and come on back.
We call him, well, I should say we call him, and he also calls himself the originator. So he makes sure it's known that anything me and my brother do on the court, like, yeah, he's done it before, too.
How old were you before you could beat him?
I was 13 when I beat him for the first time in one-on-one. He was retired at that point, so I had to wait till till he truly hung him up on the court before I could really go get him. And he was the type of dad, he wasn't just gonna let us win. The third team's a big year for me. I beat him in one-on-one in the driveway, and also the first time I beat him in golf. So he wasn't too happy about the summer of 2001, 2002, somewhere in there.
Besides practice,
We talking about practice, not a game. We talking about practice.
there are any similarities between AI and Steph?
I think they're really true to who they are.
Low key, I've always wanted to be like Allen Iverson.
That's a big similarity between them two.
My top 5 all day long. That's crazy, bro. And I remember when you was a baby when I was trying to get your daddy.
They're like opposite ends of the spectrum,
Right.
But they're very comfortable with who they are. And they say, I'm not changing for anybody. Steph would say, I'm not changing to be more famous. I'm not changing to, sell myself out, or I'm not changing my faith to, endorse this or that. Like, he stays true to who he is. AI was the same exact way. I'm from where I'm from. These are the boys that grew up with me and they got through the mud with me. These are my guys. They coming with me.
Right.
Why leave them behind in the mud? I'm bringing them with me. They gonna see the finer things in life. I'm not
Right.
changing who I am or where I came from just because I say so. So I would say that's the similarities of the two.
Oh, no. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oracle Arena is alive and roaring as we get set for Game 7.
This is a Game 7 in the NBA Finals. This might be once in a lifetime. Leave everything out on the floor.
Game 7 is tied with 3.5 to go here in the fourth.
I got the rebound, pushed it, but I hit Steph to do 2-on-1.
Right.
Like, we do practice drills every day, and then he bounces it back. Man, just put the ball, just lay it right there, and don't try to do nothing stupid. Just
Right.
lay it in. And it was one of the loudest sounds I ever heard.
Boom! Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James!
I was like, damn! What just happened? I didn't even know he blocked it, but I heard boom, and I was like, man, that was cold.
LeBron James with the rejection.
And I'm thinking, like, maybe I should have went to the other side. He had the
But
other
yeah,
side
exactly.
covered too. It was like a fan moment. I was
Right.
like, man, that was beautiful.
Oh my goodness. Superhuman defensive recovery by LeBron James.
When he blocked the shot, I'm like, God dang, that was amazing.
It's over. It's over. The Cavaliers are NBA champions.
We were playing against the Kings, and this bat was interrupting the game.
And how about that? We have a bat in the arena. I mean, this is Halloween. I can't believe this is right on cue. There's the bat. Where's the coyote?
Coyote's chasing them with a big fish net. We're all got towels.
There's the coyote.
Appropriately dressed.
I wasn't afraid of the bat, and I see all the other players going, they're trying to run to the locker room.
Oh, how hysterical. You see all these guys that look big and tough, and this little furry creature comes zooming by their head. They're ducking.
Manu was just getting fed up with the whole thing. He was tired of the stoppages. He wanted to play basketball.
Easy one from DeJuan Blair, and here's the bat.
Oh, Manu knocked it out of midair. Manu had enough, and he will walk it off the floor. We've had towels, nets, and all we needed was Manu. Is there nothing he can't do?
The guy was interrupting our game, man. I want to play. When he came close, I just tried it, and I don't know how, but I got it.
My mom raised 8 kids by herself, and I've been the man in the house since I was 12. And I left home when I was 16. One day, I knew that I would be a professional player. I told my mom when I was 12, one day I'm gonna make you rich. Because she was crying one day, we didn't have nothing to eat. And it was one of those moments, it just came to me. I said, one day, you would never have to worry about another meal again. So I worked from the time I was 12 to the time I was 18, and I bought my mom her first house. And that's the proudest thing I've ever been proud of throughout my career, is getting her a home.
Oh my, Dominique Wilkins. Look how quick he is and how high he. They find Wilkins, look out.
To get to that level and be able to buy my family things that we never had was a blessing to me, because I bought my mom a big house before I even had one. I lived in an apartment, and I was cool with that because I wanted to make sure she was happy.